Tomorrow X Together talks new music, upcoming U.S. tour, and closing the Star Chapter storytelling acts as the foreground to the global icons Tomorrow X Together's discography. The K-pop quintet has forged a narrative from release to release, with each album and EP underscoring direct life experiences. From detailing the coming-of-age process to highlighting harsh realities, the group tells their own story. And on July 21st, Tomorrow X Together is back to close the chapter on their latest installment, the Star Chapters series. The Star Chapter, Together, is a bookend, building upon EP The Star Chapter, Sanctuary, released on November 4, 2024, and its themes of salvation, empathy, and connection. This was a pretty long series, Taehyun, 23, tells USA Today. Sometimes we did question ourselves, are we taking it too long? But now that we are coming to a close, I felt a little bit sad that we had to say goodbye. The Star Chapter, Together, marks the group's first studio album release in nearly 2 years, and it reveals Tomorrow X Together's artistic growth and emotional depth. This album is really about us and you together striving toward a better tomorrow, and it means so much to us because Together, which is part of our very name and essence, is included in the title. Byamju, 24, says. The ethos of Tomorrow X Together's recent release is found in the latter half of its title. Without togetherness, we wouldn't have come this far with the story, says Taehyun. When we think about togetherness, it could mean the 5 of us, but I think it also includes MOA, the group's fans, because without MOA, this wouldn't have been possible. The Star Chapter, Together, accompanies the 5 members through a track list of transformation. Because we have solo tracks in this album, a lot of the members wanted to really show their true colors by participating in many aspects of the album creation, Huninkai, 22, says. I think this album really shows how we have grown as artists. Tomorrow X Together's past installments were a big inspiration to writing tracks in this album, because the storytelling and narrative continues from them, Taehyun shares. When I look back on the past installments that I was part of creating, I think I get inspiration from a lot of different things, says the group's leader Subin, 24. It could be the members, my family members, the fans. The themes that we talk about in our songs are something that's very everyday and something that everyone can really relate to. For this album, the guys worked on solo tracks, a first for some, but not for members Yeonjun and Byamju. The former released his first mixtape GGUM on September 19, 2024, while the latter dropped his solo project Panic on May 15. My solo work Panic was one of my favorite genres. I thought it was really my vibe, says Byamju. For Take My Half, which is my solo track in this album, I wanted to stick with my own vibe, but add a new twist to it. For GGUM, I focus mostly on rap and dance for that track, but for Ghost Girl, it's more about vocals, says Yeonjun. This time around, it's a rock genre, and Youngblood produced it for me. I really wanted to live up to his vibe. It wasn't very easy, but it was a very exciting challenge I was willing to take on. As for the album's lead single Beautiful Strangers, Huninkai says it's really about conveying the message that I can grow thanks to the power that you gave me. To accompany the album, Tomorrow X Together will embark on their 4th World Tour, ACT, tomorrow. It kicks off on August 22nd in Seoul, South Korea, and the guys will set out for the States starting September 9th. We're going to meet MOA in the States, as well as all across the globe, Subin says. We're really looking forward to that. Tomorrow X Together will make stops across 7 U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Newark, New Jersey. As for Tomorrow X Together's future, the group hopes their music can continue to be a guiding light for those experiencing growing pains. We've been spending the past 6-7 years singing about the growth of these boys and the circumstances that they face and the emotions that they experienced, says Taehyun. There were times when I sung a song first, and then later that experience happened to me, or the other way around. This might be a little bit personal, but I just hope that we are seen as artists that give positive impact to people, Huninkai adds.